Our relationships can either stimulate and invigorate us, or they can suck the life out of us and drag us down. So when you're in some of those relationships, then what are some things that you can do so that you can move beyond that quality of relationship so you no longer repeat the pain? I'm Laura Lee Humphreys, and in this episode of Faces of Freedom TV, I'll be sharing some tips and insights with you that you can apply to your relationships so that you can create ones that are loving and supportive so you can be happy and healthy and create a life that you love. So this follows along the self-care series that we've been talking about based upon the template that I made called the 7 Source Channels of Nourishment. And in this channel of nourishment, or this area of our life that we're looking at, is our relationships. They can either build us up or they can destroy us, both financially, physically, emotionally, in all ways. So my invitation to you is take a couple of minutes now and assess your relationships. How many of them in your life are truly, genuinely loving, supportive, expansive relationships that encourage you to be the best that you can be, regardless of what path or direction that you're going in, the people in your life encourage you to do what's true to your heart more than what they would want for themselves. That's a big nuance that reflects the degree of unconditional love in your relationships. Or do you have relationships that are just there, kind of neutral? They don't really do anything for you, but they just kind of fill the space. They're kind of like comfortable old shoes. They're just people you hang out with just because you've done that so for years. Or do you have several relationships in your life that are truly unhealthy and toxic for you, that are filled with strife and anger and chaos, where you walk away from those relationships wanting to bang your head against the wall and you feel terrible? You know, we all have experiences in relationships with the gamut of these types of people. And so the lesson is to look at, how are they serving you? What can you learn from them? Is there something in yourself that you're doing or putting out energetically that's drawing to you these difficult relationships that you've had a hard time looking at and accepting about yourself? You know, when we come to a point where it's time to make some changes in our life, or we feel like we're not living true to who we are and what we want our life direction to be, then oftentimes that stepping into that direction and that truth of ourselves is like upsetting the boat, and other people around us are affected. And oftentimes we are afraid to letting those relationships go or allowing them to change because they're comfortable. They're the known people that we've spent our life with. And if they're not people who are truly supporting you to be your best self, to fulfill your potential to really expand and grow, then they're more like anchors in your life. And at some point you will need to face the fact that you've outgrown them and it's time to move on. You know, when we do, then there's often this season of what can be called a void or emptiness, where we don't have those relationships and those people in our lives anymore because we've let them go out of necessity, out of recognizing I have to be true to me and to move forward. And the fear or the awkwardness, the discomfort of facing that void, that alone time, can keep us from really stepping into our truth and being really involved and committed to our true direction. And at times, though, there are seasons in our life when we really do need to have that season of alone time, of being without some of the people that we have spent our lives with, who you have outgrown, who no longer are congruent and resonate with your truth of who you are, who you're becoming, and who you desire to be, and how you choose to live your life. So if this is you if you're in this space, then I encourage you just to take the step, trust yourself, and go into the unknown, the void, the emptiness for a while, and let it be okay. There's a lot of growth, a lot of exploration and self-learning that can happen, that's necessary to happen while you're in that space, in that void, that empty space. You can heal, you can really look at who you are, where you've come, what you want to be, let go of some old emotional patterns, take out the emotional garbage, so to speak, and really reevaluate and shift things around for yourself and make some choices as to what you want your life to be about. And sometimes you really do need that alone time, that silence and quiet, without all the other voices and opinions and preferences of other people influencing your own decisions. Nature does abhor a vacuum, and in that there's always the season, though, of letting go and dying, but just recognize that doesn't stay that way forever. That where nature abhorring a vacuum, at some point there is a day when spring comes, new growth happens, plants and flowers and new blades of grass do come up through the dirt to create new life. And it's the same in your life with your relationships. As you are willing to go into this season of alone time, to till the soil of your being, of your spirit, then there does come the time when spring does come. New people will come into your life who are in greater alignment with who you have become, alignment with the truth of who you really are and the direction that you're wanting to go in your life, that fulfills your deepest heart's desire and what you feel you're here in this life to do. Even though there's chaos and there's upheaval and in the dissolution phase, just allow yourself to go through it, knowing that it's important to follow your own path and your own inner truth, and that people will come to you in due time that support your deeper truths and what you're really here to do. Every single relationship that you have is a direct reflection, a direct statement to the world and to all of life and creation about how you love and honor yourself. Your relationships and the people in them, the relationships of the people you have relationship with, they are your mirrors. They can be your teachers, especially the difficult ones, because they reflect back to you how you feel about yourself, the beliefs that you have about yourself, how you love yourself and value and respect yourself or not. So rather than getting into patterns and habits where you blame and judge and throw crap onto other people, create a lot of drama, then be willing to step back and say, this person is teaching me something about myself that I probably have not been willing or wanting to look at. And so life is giving me a very sharp, in my face example and mirror of this thing about myself, giving me an opportunity to face my shadow, face the part of me that I have not loved and accepted, the part of me that I've rejected and disassociated from, so that I can now learn how to accept that piece of myself and integrate it back into me and become more whole. The other people are just a mirror. They're a reflection. They're a representation of the parts of yourself that you've not accepted and not loved, the parts of yourself that you've judged and pushed away and hated. Those are the people that reflect those pieces of you, and hence the drama, the chaos, the pain. So the way to get out of that is be willing to look at yourself and to do the shadow work. Look at the relationship, the dynamic that you're having with this other person that's causing chaos and pain for you. and be willing to assess what you're contributing to that dynamic, what kind of emotional and mental energies that you are broadcasting out into the world that's returning to you in the form of this painful conversation, this painful relationship. What patterns have you set up in your life to prevent you from really accepting and claiming ownership of this piece of yourself that is ultimately holding a lot of pain and trauma? When you're willing to go through the layers of doing your inner work, of doing the shadow work, of really looking and assessing and learning from what these people are showing you or teaching you about yourself and your life, then you can, and you're willing to look at, oh wow, I believed this and this and this about myself. That's why this person is treating me in accordance to my beliefs. Therefore, it triggers these types of emotions that I have, so that I am locked into this pattern of feeling small, of feeling disempowered, of feeling like low self-worth. When we're willing to let go of those patterns, then ultimately it's about facing and feeling the pain that originated, that's at the root of those patterns. When we can feel the pain of, wow, this is how I really feel about myself. I've rejected this part of myself because I didn't want to feel this pain. I've judged myself for feeling like I'm stupid or incompetent because that's what somebody told me about myself and I believed it. And I didn't want to own that. So now I have this person, this relationship, who's treating me that way. So if I can own that I have felt small and incompetent and feel the feelings of the pain and allow that energy to wash through me, to be released from my body, to be released from my energy system, then I'm no longer holding that level of consciousness. I'm no longer holding those beliefs and those energies. Therefore, my body doesn't have that stored in the tissues. I don't have those energies within me to be broadcast out into the world anymore. I'm no longer attracting to me people who will disrespect me and treat me as if I'm incompetent and disempowered. When you shift all of that inner work, do all of that inner shadow work, then what you find behind all of that is your truth, the grace, the love, the true essence of who you are, which contributes to the clarity of what you're here in this life to offer and to share with people, of what it is that you want to give, what your talents are, how you want to live, how you want to care for yourself. You come into contact with who you truly are. The more you can grasp that and live your life from that point, as a loving, creative, spiritual being, full of all these wonderful attributes, who's worthy and deserving of wonderful, good, abundant things in your life, when you can live in that state, you broadcast out that level of consciousness. You broadcast out those energies, those emotions, those beliefs about yourself. And then in return, that's what you attract. You attract people who are loving, supportive, who encourage you, who can stimulate you to grow, to expand, and to challenge you to try out new things and to experiment with new things, where life becomes playful and fun and challenging rather than dreary. So I encourage you to look at all of that and be willing to step into the shadow, step into the quiet times, be willing to spend time alone with yourself to discover who you truly are. You know, there's a lot of tools that support you with this. Journaling is one of them. A lot of the introspection times and really being able to analyze and objectively observe yourself, you can't really find and discover the nuggets and the wisdom and the essence of who you truly are through all of those experiences without really taking the time to journal. So I encourage you to pull out a journal and start writing and looking at things of how you're feeling and the things that come up for you in your journaling time. Also, be willing to or have people in your life who can coach you or find a good energy healer that can help facilitate you, help move the energy out of your body, support you in feeling the emotions that need to be moved and felt so that you can be free of them. That's what transformation and healing is all about. Get out into nature, connect with the earth, put your feet in the dirt, get out into the sunshine, and just allow the natural energies of the sun and the earth to calm and soothe you and help you discover the truth of who you really are. Look at your diet. I say this so much in all of my videos. Eat real food. Support your body in breaking down the chemicals of emotions, the physical toxins in your bodies that the emotions and beliefs of self-sabotage, of pain are anchored to. Allow yourself to be willing to move into a true diet of healthy, whole, plant-based foods that support your body physically to create physical health. That goes a long ways in feeling good about yourself and being able to move through and release all the energies and the emotions and the mindset that don't serve you any longer. I also talk about the gifts of plants or essential oils. The way that they interact with the chemistry of your body supports you in releasing also the toxins, of the energetic, emotional toxins, the physical toxins that keep you stuck in lower states of being, lower states of emotion, and unhealthy energy dragging relationships. So the more you can care for yourself, the more you love yourself with the things of whole foods, supportive people, essential oils, plant-based diet, getting out into nature. You nourish yourself in this way, as well as allowing people to come into your life to nourish you, who are loving and supportive and who want the best for you. So those are a few tips for you today to think about. I encourage you to journal, take some time to journal and look at how you can have some communications and conversations with people. See how you can adjust or transform some of your relationships, allowing those people the chance to shift and adjust with you, or if they just need to be let go of. And if so, then having the courage to do that and to face the seasons of quiet, introspective, alone time so that you can develop a deeper relationship with yourself. So as with all of my videos, and especially with this self-care series that we're talking about, then I have the download for you that's the life assessment of the 7 source channels of nourishment. So I could grab that, download that, go through the exercises that walks you through to give yourself an assessment of how well your relationships are truly nourishing you. What other areas of your life can you derive greater nourishment from by following that template? So download that, apply it, and see where that takes you. So did you find value in this video? What did you like best about what I shared with you? In what ways can you apply some of the relationship tips and insights that I've offered here? I'd love to hear from you of how you can use the information that I've shared. And if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, like the button, or push the notifications button so that you can receive notifications for when I drop other videos, which I do a couple of times a week. Share this with people who you feel could benefit from it. And if you'd like to learn more about me and my work, you can find me on my website, lauraleehumphreys.com. You can find me on social media under my name, lauraleehumphreys.com. So grab my download and assess how you are nourishing yourself with your relationships and how you can nourish others doing the same. And until next time, take care.